All right, so we're going to talk about what we've learned from a year of being a video production
Coffee first.
company. Coffee first, fair. All
One
right,
year in, that's kind of crazy, bro.
I know. Year ago, so for reference, in what is it, July 2024, I basically found out I was losing my job.
Yep.
But we already had the company going for a little bit and nowhere near where we are today. I think at that point we were at 2,500 a month,
Maybe.
maybe, right?
Yeah,
Barely,
maybe.
with like one client and
And then
just,
there was like several one-offs, which were great. But then you using those one-offs to pay off the debt from last month
yeah, yeah, exactly.
or the month before that.
Right. But then, that happened and I went, I was able to join Mike and going all in with this company and here we are today. We're a six-figure business. Um, and it's just been completely and totally a trip,
Yeah.
an
Lots of
adventure,
learning.
tons. So the reason we want to make this video is because there are people out there who are interested in learning what goes into running a video production company that also handles social media accounts, YouTube accounts. And while there is a ton of information out there, I feel like a lot of it is still gatekeeping.
Yeah. Or people learn something, give you like snippets of it, and then that's it. And they say they're this big, successful, six, seven figure video production company, but in reality, you don't even know if those numbers are accurate or true.
Yeah. So while we reserve the right to not tell you how much we're making a year exactly, it is um, it is over six figures. So and it's supporting the livelihoods of two people and their families. So
Full time.
full time, family of five, family of three, plus cats.
Plus cats.
Yeah. So I think what we want to get into to start is after a year of doing this, the base of all businesses um, is a style, is a brand. So like we really dive into authenticity with everything we make. And Mike as a cinematographer, me as the director and writer, both of us managing the business, both of us doing business development. Um, I think that what I personally have learned is our pitch our pitch
Mhm.
is we create it started let's go where it started. We were saying we created cinema style. What would you used to say?
Cinematic content for your brand.
Yeah, cinematic content for your brand. And that's what we were doing. That's what we were saying. And people weren't understanding it.
Right. I think we've always been a little bit of ahead of some of the trends and some of like what you see on social media all the time. And then it just,
Definitely.
it kind of like snowballed into it's not just for cinematic content, it's not just for social media.
Right.
It goes deeper than that. And I think as you grow as a business, your mindset starts to shift in a way where that's not only what you can do for other people who have a business.
Yeah, I mean, we had the camera because Mike understands this tech side of it. I went to college for all this, so I have a bachelor's degree in communications, TV, and film. So I understand what it took to actually make the videos. He understood his vision, and then we just started collaborating, and both of us with extensive knowledge in just how to run a business and sales, business development, branding. We pivoted I wouldn't say pivoted. We changed what we said and we started saying we create authentic content for your brand. And I think that was the first big change in how we started getting more clients. Because, our whole thing is like not everybody needs a script. Not everybody feels comfortable speaking to a camera. So we
I think
started,
majority of people
oh yeah, majority of business owners and
don't
who
feel comfortable,
people who know they need to make content for their business
don't
don't
make
feel
content.
comfortable making content for their business. So when we started coming in and started talking to people and saying, we don't need scripts, we just need to understand it. We need bullet points. Don't talk to the camera, talk to me.
Right.
I'll be standing to the side of the camera to give that feel where somebody's actually talking to a person, and then they're getting my active listening, whether I'm nodding to them,
Yeah.
or if I'm just like, okay, yeah, but I'm kind of mouthing it. Even where Mike will give like a thumbs up if like the person sounded good with what they kind of delivered. I think that goes a long way. But at the end of the day, people were feeling more comfortable, and we kind of leaned into that. So we start building rapport with clients, and then
That's almost the one up
yeah,
that we have.
absolutely, because it's authentic. If they feel authentic, they feel like themselves when they're speaking. But
Yeah.
then, if you want to go into that part of it,
We can, but let's take a quick time because the DJI is off.
we'll do it live. No
Yeah,
commercial
thanks.
breaks.
You gotta face this way, buddy. There you go. All right.
Get that B-roll.
Cool.
Now, a word from our sponsors. Do you need video for your brand? No. So I think, we go into, okay, we're an authentic, no, we are a video production company who's going to bring the authenticity. And what we mean by that is people are going to feel comfortable when they go on camera with us, because we're not just showing up and turning the camera on. That became like the phase 2 of our script. When we were like pitching to people and trying to explain what we do. It went from, we do cinematic style, to, what the hell is that? What does that even mean? To, okay, we create authentic brand content. Oh, okay. They understand the word authentic. They understand the word brand. They understand the word content. Then it was the next evolution, which is, making people feel comfortable. And I think that's what I think where you're going to pick up is the one up we have on people is on our competitors, to be honest, is we don't just show up, turn a camera on and say, go. We create that rapport.
Right. Right. It's building the story behind the brand, behind the business, the product, whatever it may be. But a lot of times, if you just hire video production, it's a guy with a camera who has experience, and he shows up and says, go.
Local video production, I would say.
Yeah.
Local.
Yeah, local.
Yeah,
Yeah,
local.
like higher scale, like big production studio. Obviously, you're going to get so many people
Right.
involved. But
But, I think that's the big thing too, is when we do correct people all the time. We're not videographers. He's a cinematographer and I'm a director. And I think even that positions our business in such a way where people can see the professionalism and the difference between who we're working with and who they have worked with in the past.
yeah.
We're not videographers. We're not like guys who are doing supplemental income through wedding, like, doing
Or
weddings.
just strictly one-offs.
Right, or
it's
one-offs,
Just
yeah.
one-offs every day.
Right. I mean, we are building a client base who is primarily on retainer. And we have so many different things. And I think before we get into like when we decided what we were going to do, I just can't reiterate enough. And goes in any business, this gets overlooked. If you are selling, and most people are selling, every person in the business has to be willing to be likable. If you're not likable, you can't run a successful business.
Yeah.
You have to be likable. And I think that gets overlooked. But like, then the question is like, how do I become likable? We can't tell somebody how to be likable.
Yeah, that's
right.
You can't.
And
I don't think you can even teach that.
I think
If
you
you
just
just
got to be
not-
real. I
yeah.
think that's how you're likable. Like, I've had conversations with Mike, with clients, where I'll just say something, and you know me, like I'll just say it, and then they kind of look at me like, did he really just say that?
Yeah.
But it's because I care. So I'll say things like, no, that's stupid. Here's why it's dumb. And I will explain, or you know what, like, I don't want to do that. And here's 4 reasons why
you'll
we
just
should.
say like, I have a better idea. Or
Yeah, yeah.
something like, or have a
Have a
can I-
different idea, yeah.
Yeah. Can I recommend this or
Yeah.
something to kind
I'll be
of
like, yeah, I hear you.
break the ice?
But what if we try this? That's my.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
hear what you're
Yeah,
saying.
yeah, yeah.
But what if we try? And we can do that. But let's do this. But I think that, in saying that we create authentic brand content, we are also authentic with the people we work with. So in a year of learning how to do this, I think the biggest thing is your clients can be perceived as two ways. They can be perceived as somebody who gives you money for service. You go home, you do service, you give it to them, or you can try to become likable and become part of their team. And I think that's everybody we work with, every company we work for and work with, it's almost like we become their team. We become part of their company. Whether, I'm not going to shout anybody out because I don't want to miss anybody, but every client we work with, we have basically become an arm and an extension of their brand. When we are there, they're the only thing we think about. Our phones are off from the time we walk in to the time we leave. Now, of course, we're going to check our phones in our break periods, but at the end of the day, we make them feel like they are our only client every time.
Yeah, facts.
And that's what, to me, like that is part of to wrap it in a bow, like the foundation of what we do. We're authentic, we're very communicative, and we're real with people.
Right.
Which is kind of authentic
And
anyway.
since we're on retainer, typically 6 months to a year, growing to learn these personalities month to month, they, when we show up, they're like, oh, Recap Boys are here.
Yeah.
And they open up with us, and creating the content organically just becomes easier because that personable, way that we come off is real.
Yeah, no, it is.
And it goes a long way.
It is. I think that's the big lesson is you have to be real and you have to be likable. That's how you be likable. I think another thing that we do too, to kind of go into that is we have our roles in the business. While we collaborate with each other and we lean on each other, we know what you do and we know what I do.
And what we don't do.
And what we don't do. And a lot of people, this is another advantage we have, they want to go and get 2 retainer clients, but the videographer, because they call themselves videographers, that's the business person, that's the CFO, that's the cameraman, that's the director, if he's even directing, that's the editor, the music sourcer, all of it. With us, when we started, it was just the 2 of us.
Right.
And we defined our roles from day one. I think that goes into something that, this is a lesson people should understand. When you work with a partner, you need to have clear and defined roles. Collaboration is great, but responsibilities, that is clear and defined.
I think also putting boundaries of like, I'm comfortable with this, this, and this. If there's something I don't want to do, it's hand off, right? Because a lot of times we understand the saying, right? You go through the uncomfortable to grow. But a lot of times, if it's something you just obviously don't like doing, hand it off. Because in the business, you won't grow if you're uncomfortable consistently doing something you don't want to do. Yeah. So just hand it off. I will never direct the clients like you do.
No. And I'm not going to go and, hey, this is the new lens. This is the light tubes we need to buy, right? Look at all these light tubes around us. B-roll shot. Look at all the light tubes around us. Like, I don't know any of this. And I don't know how that camera works. I don't want to know what did you say to me before with the exposure? When you were like, oh, we look a little, what did you say? Like a 2.0 versus a 1.0 or? Yeah,
we shooting S-Log Sony, but it's 2 stops overexposed.
Yeah, so I don't even know what that means. 2 stops overexposed? No idea. But at the same time, where I do come in is the directing of the clients. While he is editing for hours and hours, or if he's helping one of our editors edit, I'm on the phone with a client. Hey, what's up? How do you like your videos? How's everything been? What could we be doing better? Hey, text message. I saw this video. I think it'd be great for you. Like, I am constantly, I would say I touch every client at least once a week, if not more. And then when I get there and I'm directing them, there's a trust that I've built with them, that they're just going to trust that he's going to make them look good and I'm going to make them sound good and feel confident. And that comes through the text messaging, the phone calls, emails, right? Yeah. And then you go one step further, like, again, he's the one doing the sourcing of the music and saying, hey, we need to use Motion Array. We need to use Artlist, not sponsored. And I'm like, hey, we need QuickBooks and HubSpot. So like Asana. I was Madison. And and we'll talk about building your team in this video as well, because we do have more than 2 people now. But I'm building the systems that support the business. And the way I always say it is, you have 3 phases, well, 4 phases to what we do. We have the sales and business development, okay? Which on the back end is the delivery, right? So, but then we have pre-production, we have production, and then we have post-production. In pre-production, it's a collaboration. It's, okay, how do we want to shoot? What are we trying to do? Is there a script? Is there bullet points? Who is the client? What do we, like, what timing do we have? What is the location? That's a joint effort. Production day is where we split. I would even say we split a little bit in pre-production, where like I'm focused on like the story of what they're saying, and you're focused on the story of how it looks.
Yeah, or what they want to film that day. So
Yeah.
it's like certain products, gotta be mindful of certain equipment
Right.
that we may need for that day, you know, depending on where we are, location.
Right. And then he's doing that. I'm
Lenses,
thinking
lighting.
about, yeah. And I'm thinking about, oh, we have to make sure we say this. We have to make sure we say this. Oh, Labor Day is coming up. Do they have a sale? Like, it's like little things like that that I'm looking into. Get into the production phase. If he forgets anything, we're screwed. Like, he's got to focus on all the equipment. And I have to make sure I have a good night's rest. I got to make sure I rest my voice, because I'm going to be talking all day.
Yeah.
Like, I have to sit there. I drive in silence on a day of a production, because I need to gather my thoughts and everything I know about that client. So that's like your production. And then when we're there, it's you're doing all the camera work and I'm doing the directing. Split. And I don't, you know, he may suggest to them, hey, you should say it this way, say this. I may suggest, hey, do a different angle. But primarily, it's like, that's his responsibility and that's my responsibility. You get into post-production. Now, post-production is really, okay, what was the story that Sal was trying to tell, or why did he ask for this B-roll? But you're like the editor. Like,
Yeah.
you're finding music.
Yeah.
It's all on you at that point.
I also go by like mood. So if the mood of what, you know, how the person was talking, or what story we're trying to tell, or what kind of environment we're in, that all kind of goes hand in hand. And a lot of times I'll have an idea in my head before we even start like shooting. Like I'll get to the location, I'm like thinking music already.
Right. See, I'm not even thinking about that. So it's kind of crazy. But that's your, you know, your production day, and then your post production. He's editing. So when we're in post, I have to sit there and just wait.
Yeah.
I got nothing.
A lot of times also in post, I'm not like, or on production, excuse me, I'm not hitting the stop button on the camera, because I known working with Sal that afterwards he's going to say something like, oh, this is why we did that. So then I'm not going back and forth like, well, what was it that we did with
That's
this
something
shot?
we learned.
Yeah. So I just record a little, like, even if it's for just one more minute, I think 70% of the times he'll say something after the subject finishes their line or whatever it is, and I have it already recorded, so I'm not going back and forth. Like,
Right.
What did you mean by that? Like,
In the
why-
beginning, he used to call me, hey,
Yeah.
bro, why did you make this person say this? And
Yeah.
why did you? So he just developed a style where he's like, I don't want somebody to say something, or I don't want to guide them into saying something and not give them a reason. So I always, if I'm going to change what somebody's saying, even if it's their core message and I'm tweaking it, I get them to say it on camera, and I'll say to them, okay, I made you say it this way because of X, Y, and Z. He now gets it, and it makes the editing process so much easier. But as he's doing that, I may be managing one of the other editors in, hey, we need to do this, or hey, but I'm essentially sitting on my hands in the post-production process. I'm just waiting to see, you know, the video that comes out, approval, and now I'm watching it like a hawk to see if there's a mistake, whether it's a spelling error or maybe a mistimed cue, or he might even piece together a video and I'm like, I don't even know how you did that. Like, I got nothing. This is great, done.
Yeah.
Which happens, I would say like 75% of the time, it's like good to go, done.
Yeah,
It's
there'll be like minor tweaks where he'll be like, oh, they blinked like a microsecond before
Yeah.
the shot. Or something.
yesterday.
So I was like, he blinked? Like, I didn't even see that. And I have 3 monitors here, but there's just little things that it goes hand in hand when you have a team, opposed
Right.
to just one guy doing everything.
Yeah. So, you know, and as far as like the money goes, and this is what I kind of started with in the beginning of this topic, people will be a videographer doing everything by themselves, and they can make, you know, maybe they get 2 retainer clients, and maybe they're making, you know, $6,000 a month on 2
I feel
retainer
like they don't
clients.
typically work on retainer though. Like they don't even know how to put that together.
Maybe you're right. Yeah. Unless they go to a guru who's going to teach them how to build a system.
Or
But
they don't even call it retainer. They just say like production, like
Yeah,
they
yeah,
have
yeah.
some kind of agreement where like we're
Right.
gonna shoot something every month,
sure,
just
I can see that. Yeah.
whenever.
Absolutely. And, you know, where you have 2 minds now, where one is more focused on the footage, right? Footage, where I'm not. So like even in the delivery process, like right now, like we're handling the YouTube and social media accounts ourselves. Like we'd love to get to that point where we have a person doing that for us and helping us. But with our budget, our team is built right now to support the client, not to support us necessarily, to an extent.
Yeah.
So to kind of like the responsibilities and the roles, I think that, and I guess to wrap that, it's almost like you need somebody who can do the things that you don't want to do and do them well,
Yeah.
right? Like I don't want to edit. Can I edit? Yes. And I'm not bad.
Yeah.
I'm not a bad
Yeah,
editor.
yeah.
I just don't want to do it because I don't want to learn
That's
this.
not. I don't think that's your main focus.
No, it's
right?
not.
And obviously, as you grow in a company, and the more clients you get, the editing becomes harder because of the workflow. So that's when you know, before burnout happens, okay, we're making good money,
Yeah. You can make more money when you have a team.
but you know that some of this food on this table needs to be chipped off and handed to somebody else, because you'll never grow as a company handling everything yourself.
No.
It's just impossible. I
You
think
know-
that's why a lot of them just end up stop doing it.
Yeah. They just stop and go to corporate.
Yeah, or
That's
they'll
it.
just do something, set pay and
Yeah.
set income, and then
Right. Maybe not even in
it
this
becomes
field.
the hobby again.
Yeah, exactly. But the thing is like kind of to piggyback on what you just said there, the first hire we made was an editor to alleviate his workflow and potential burnout. We never got there. I tried to edit before we got the editor, and I was like, I can't do this. I don't want to do this. Like, I know what I'm good at, and I know what I'm not good at. I'm good at talking, explaining, guiding. I'm not good at actually being on the keyboard editing. You know, if I have to, I do, but I don't enjoy it. And because I don't enjoy it, he does enjoy that. He likes to do that. At the same time, yeah, the storytelling.
Storytelling.
And you don't necessarily like dealing with the customer service side where it's like, all right, I'm on the phone with them again.
Yeah.
I'm talking to so and so. You know, who's happy with us, who's mad at us.
Which I don't mind doing if I have to step up.
Yeah.
I think that's also
Same, it's the inverse. Yeah.
like we know the ins and outs of the business because we work together every day, but I think a lot of times some of the hats that we hand off, how do I say this nicely? We can share hats sometimes.
Yeah, we can absolutely share hats.
But we also know our limitations.
Yes,
So
we know what we're good
important.
at.
That's
Yeah.
important. Yeah.
If you do what you're good at, you become great at it.
Yeah.
And if you do what you don't like to do, you'll get burnt out faster. I like to always say when I talk to people, you know, especially like my wife, I talk to her about everything, obviously. And she's always like, you're always on the phone. You're always writing an email. You're always talking to somebody. You're never editing. You don't edit. And I'm like, right.
funny.
And then she'll be like, you're always critiquing work. I'm like, yes, that's my job. So as I like to put it, I would say he works in the business more than I do. I work on the business more than he does. But we both still collaborate the whole time.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It does. Yeah. It's kind of like, how do I say? Printing money. It's always being printed, right? It's going down that machine, printing money. While the business is working and flowing because I'm editing or doing my part, Sal is always on the line cutting the bills because a team of, video production and what we do is not ideal when you're just by yourself. It's just not. And then we'll get into more of like where we've expanded, but to grow something successful is not easy by yourself.
Agreed.
Ever.
Agreed.
You'll burn out. I feel like I would say like the percentage is probably like 95% burnout because they're by themselves. Or they don't seek guidance or help in where they are struggling. So then if there's something they can't do, which they maybe could have done with just some help, they just don't end up doing it.
Nope. And they're done.
Yeah. Yep.
So to kind of get into the next thing, going away from that part of it, I think it's, I believe I got my notes here, my handy dandy notes. What do we have here? So I think when you are trying to understand how you do things, why you do things, there comes a point in the business where you need to understand who your audience is or who your client base is. And I think that we have gone against the grain successfully.
Yeah.
So
with limitations.
With limitations.
I'll put limitations on that. And you can hit and then I'll dive into why I say that.
A lot of the advice we've gotten is you build a business, a video production business, servicing a niche, a sub niche. Right? The actual way to say that word is niche. I'll get into that another time. But you build this business around a genre. So we are a video production company. We work with brands who want to make authentic content. That is not enough for a lot of the YouTube videos you'll watch out there. Mm-hmm. Everybody's going to say, pick a niche, stay with it, go in deep with it, and really become like that company. So I think the construction analogy is good. And a piece of advice that somebody may give is you need to become the best video production business for construction businesses. And that is what 99% of video production companies do. They pick a category and then they only make content in that category. And that works for them. What has worked for us is we don't do that. We work with mortgage lenders, we work with dermatology practices, we work with commercial construction plumbing, we work with realtors. We don't stick to one. And I think that's what you were going to get into is kind of why. But our genre, our niche, the companies that work with us, bottom line, they have to be comfortable with making authentic content that doesn't feel scripted or rehearsed.
Right. So like, I feel like if you stick to just one niche, right? Let's say you nail that one client who's they're going to give you a 6-figure contract.
Raise construction.
Right? For 1 year. But you can't work with any other in that niche. Then what do you do? Because they made you sign an NDA.
Right. They make you sign a non-compete, an NDA, or go the inverse. They sign you on let's call it $2,500 a month. You're going to go to their construction site once a month and you're going to shoot construction content. Mm-hmm. Now, and let's just say they're in a specific, call it county A. They're in a county. So you're going to, okay. You go to somebody else in county B and offer them construction video services. It's only a matter of time until company A says, what are you doing? You're making videos for company B.
Direct competition.
That's a construction-based business where they could work anywhere in your state or maybe anywhere across multiple counties. So that's another piece of it where it's like, if you are only the video production business making videos for construction-based businesses, you're stuck with that one company because it's a really high-paying, salary at that point. I wouldn't even call it like you're basically working for them, or a little less money working with two or trying to work with 2 or 3. Eventually, a lover's quarrel is going to happen. You're going to create a love triangle between you and the two companies, or worse, 3, 4, 5 companies,
Right.
and they're all going to fire you. This happens.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it goes back to storytelling. So storytelling is foundation of what we do, but we can do that essentially with every business that we work with because everybody's story is going to be different. It just comes to a visual perspective of how we put it together and deliver for them. But regardless, you can do that for any business as long as you stick to the foundation of what you learned.
Yeah. This is the exact opposite advice
Yeah.
of everybody
Yeah.
doing this. Watch any YouTube video. Pick a category, pick a
And
niche.
nothing against, like, you can be successful being in one niche.
You can only
but
work with one client at a time, though.
yeah, you're gonna run into more objections of you work with so and so and there are competitors, or you did something for them and then we're just not gonna use you.
Or worse, I mean, we've had this with our clients. Hey, are you working with any other companies that do what we do? Nope. Okay, cool. Have you? Nope. Are you going to? Probably not. Right? That's literally a
Yeah.
conversation. He was there. I literally had this conversation with one of our clients.
Yeah.
And it was like, all right, cool. And that was it. So there is a sense of loyalty that we are devoting to our clients. But I think that allows us to progress because now that client has actually gotten another client for us in referral. So there's this level of trust back to the foundation, the core foundation of what I said previously is we build a rapport. I'm on the phone with them every week. Therefore, there's a trust that's built and they don't even need to ask us, oh, are you working with any other business in our field? And the answer will be no. Now, adjacent businesses, yeah, I could see that. We work with a plumbing company. Now we work with a construction company. Okay, great. Now we're going to work with an inspector.
Car brand.
Car brand, right? So like the thing is, it's like we are not going to be the coffee mug video production businesses because there's only so many businesses making coffee mugs.
Right.
And then you don't want and this will happen. It doesn't matter how creative you are. Things you do for one business are going to translate and somehow, subconsciously or not, kind of bleed into the other company.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden you are making videos for 2 different companies who may or may not be competitors, but they're in the same field and the videos look the same.
Yep.
So we would rather say authentic brands, authentic businesses who want our style. And therefore, niching down into a subcategory is bad if you run a video production business servicing local businesses targeting local markets.
For sure. I
That's a
agree.
complete sentence.
I agree.
Right?
Yeah, yeah.
So we get the business up and running, and I think people that are watching this would want to know kind of like what a pitch looks like. So you're building the business. We kind of went all over, but like if we were going to talk somebody through pitching.
Let's work one step backwards from that.
Yeah.
So the pitch first is finding the client.
Okay,
Right?
let's go there.
So where we started was like very small local, like your local coffee shop or your local clothing store.
Working
or
for
your-
food and space.
yeah, like, and then you realize that those clients are great, but if they can't afford you or if they don't see enough value in it to pay you X dollars,
Or they can't afford it.
yeah, then you also have to realize those aren't the clients you should be looking to get on a retainer, because the affordability, excuse me, I can't talk. Too much coffee here. The affordability of them is less than, you know, your bigger plumber around in town or the gym that does very well.
I think one thing I always say when we're talking to a client, I think I've nailed this line every time at this point.
They're doing content already.
I don't know if they're doing content already, but on the money side of it,
Oh, okay. Budget.
we should be, yeah, We should be budgeted as an investment, not as a cost. If your video production company feels like a cost, stop making content. If it feels like an investment, keep making content. And that to me is like huge. Like, they should not feel like they are bearing a burden when they're paying you.
Yeah.
They should feel like, I'm going to give money and I'm going to get back expectation because of this video. Whether it be notoriety, growth in social, or new clients, which is typically new clients. We can never feel like a cost. Video production should feel like an investment.
For sure. Yeah.
Which
So
goes
that's-
into budget.
Yeah, goes to budget.
Yeah. So, and a lot of clients will say, oh, and this is the mistake we made in the beginning. They wanted, so no, actually in the beginning, we didn't want to make a menu, a brochure, a list of, hey, this is what you can get.
Do you have a pricing sheet?
Pricing sheet, that's the word. We didn't want to do it, but we didn't stick to our guns.
Yeah.
And we started making a pricing sheet. And
With deliverables.
With deliverables. Then they were trying to haggle us. So then I was like, okay, let's do a pricing sheet with deliverables, but let's remove the price. Then they would ask the price. So then we put the price back on. Now all of a sudden it's deliverables price all again. Now we didn't hear back from people because we would send it to them. We would have like a brief conversation, send it to them. Then we didn't hear back. Then it gets like, okay, what's going on? So then we move away from it again. And now we're like, all right, no more pricing sheet. We do this. It's gotten to the point where now we hate the pricing sheet because every client needs something different. Every client wants something different. The expectations are not laid out. So we just avoid a pricing sheet. What we decided to do was make a video for people looking for content. So we have these hidden pages on our website that you can't see unless you're trying to work with us. And they first have a phone conversation with us. It's about 15 minutes.
Yeah. Discovery call.
Discovery call. What are you looking for? It's 15, sometimes it goes 30. What are you looking for? How can we help? And they always ask what the cost is at the end. And we've gotten it down to, understanding how much time things will take us and at what scale they're going to be delivered. So meaning like, is this going to be a national commercial or is this going to be something you put on your Instagram? And based on that, we understand how to price people. So we price them typically on the fly. They ask for this pricing sheet again. And we say, well, listen, a pricing sheet can be outdated. A pricing sheet needs to be maintained. A pricing sheet doesn't necessarily help you. Go watch these videos we've made for you. So we have 3 videos. What they want, expectations, what we do. Then we have the next video, which is Mike introducing himself. And we have the last video, which is me introducing myself. So now they understand what the business can do, what a cinematographer does, and what a director does. After they watch those videos, typically we have a better conversation, which I would call the closing conversation, right? So you have they heard about you, then you have your discovery, send them a video, then you go into your close. And when you go into your close, it's pretty much like, that's where you're nailing down the details. I don't like 3-month, 6-month, 12-month. I don't like those kind of agreements. A lot of people like to do those retainers. To me and Mike, we let the client steer the conversation because we know a couple things. We know they need content. We know they've admitted they want content. We know they can't do content without us. You start making content and you stop, people will notice. People are going to know, oh, why'd you stop?
Your videos were so great. What happened?
Right. So there's a pressure there for them. For us, while they may ask for a 3-month or listen, all that a contract is doing, in our opinion, is locking you into the price we agree on. That's all it does. So should I go into that?
You can. Yeah.
So if our rate today for a YouTube client, so we're going to manage a YouTube channel, we're going to come and shoot once a month. If our rate right now is $5,000 a month, and we're working with them for $5,000 a month, we're going to deliver as many videos as we can based on what we've shot for $5,000 a month, right? We're gonna go in, we're gonna shoot for 3 hours to 6 hours, whatever it is, and we're gonna shoot content, and we're gonna make sure that we have that going. And now that's their rate. To me, if that's a 3-month contract, we always tell them 3 months is not enough time for these algorithms to wake up and understand what your channel is about on any platform. But we'll agree to the 3-month contract. And then what we do is we piggyback that with a more extended contract. But for us, all that's doing is locking that $5,000 in. If somebody wants to do a 6-month contract for $5,000 a month, okay, great. We'll do a 6-month contract for $5,000 a month, and we'll piggyback another contract on top of that if they want. That is going to be for another 6 months. That's going to lock them at a rate. Now, either way, we look at it like they are evergreen clients. They are month to month. Because to be honest, if somebody wants to fire us or escape the contract, we're not going to say no. We're not going to say you're stuck with us for the next 6 months. That's just not what we're going to do, right? We could say they're stuck. They don't pay us. Now we're going to try to collect money on services never rendered. You don't want to work with us, don't work with us. You want to work with us? Great, let's work. These contracts are locking you in at a rate. Now, if our rates go up from $5,000 to $7,500 a month, and we're in contract with somebody, they're going to stay at that $5,000 contract. Now, when that contract is done, we can renegotiate and explain, hey, listen, our services are a little more expensive. You know, we've grown with you. We want to keep working with you. Our new rate is $7,500. You know, we can't sustain $5,000 a month anymore, but because you've been so loyal with us, what if we did something like, you know, 2 options. One, we can go to $6,500 a month and, you know, just call it a day. It's not quite our rate now. We understand it. Or B, hey, let's get into $7,500 a month. We'll give you your first month of this new contract for free. And we understand that, you know, you're going to pay $0, but then $7,500 across the next 2 months is like, or next 2 months, they've saved some money. It's less of a burden to bear.
Yep. There's ways to work around clients that you obviously trust, 1, and 2, if they trust you and see a good result from what you've grown together for their business. A lot of times you won't get like the objection of like, well, why is your price higher?
Yeah.
They understand the value
Right.
of what you're doing with them from the beginning because we set those expectations.
How
with
many
every
times
client.
you have clients who say, might try to haggle you? It's up to you. Like, are you willing to work extra for something more for less money? Clients have said, or, you know, leads have said to us, hey, if you work for free, I will make sure you're exposed to, I don't care. You know, I'm not working for free. If you do it for 50% of your cost, I will introduce, I don't care. Your introduction means nothing to me. Sorry, it's just the way it is. I mean, I think we've gone deep enough in the videos where I can just be real. I don't care. I'm not going to lower our rate and our standard knowing that they're going to get the same amount of value that somebody else who's paying their hard-earned money is getting. It's just not going to happen. And plain and simple, like, our price is our price. Now, if they want us to do something outside of the contract, so they have a contract for $5,000 a month, they want us to go and cover a gala, we might do it for less money, we might do it for a discounted rate because you're already in contract with us.
Yep.
But how many times have we seen people try to make a deal with us and it's just like, you know, he knows what happens. Like, I just look at Mike like, I'm done talking. Like, I don't want to be here anymore. Like, I'll be respectful. I'm not going to walk away from the meeting, but he knows. And I think I know when he's checked out and he knows when I'm checked out. So you need to, as a video production business owner, you need to come to terms with what you're willing to give away for free and make sure you limit that.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Know your boundaries.
Know your boundaries, yeah. So the next piece of what we wanted to talk about was just lessons we've learned. I mean, that kind of goes into lessons we learned and red flags. That's kind of a red flag right there. I think discovering who a client could be like we said before, if you're trying to look for a client, because we kind of went into
Yeah.
budget before pitch. So now the next piece is like, how do we qualify a client?
I think one, I don't think I know. One, if they're making content already and if they've been consistent at it. Two, if they're not consistent but make content here and there, it's maybe a
Content
good start.
curious.
Yeah,
Content curious. Yeah.
And then three, it goes back to budget. If they know that this is something that they're budgeting for, then they're going to be a client that's not going to fight you on price.
Yeah. So to give you a hint on that, you can leverage your lead's competitor. So what I mean by that is all three of those things are 100% right. But if they have a competitor who's currently making content, there's a pressure that gets associated to that. And the only way to relieve that pressure is to make content.
Yeah.
So typically what you need to figure out is, why are you contacting me for content? You know, do you need it? Do you want it?
You're going to run ads?
Yeah. What are you doing content for? Do you need it for social media? Do you need it for YouTube? Do you need it for ads? Do you need it for a webinar? Do you need it for your pitch deck? But that's inbound. Outbound is different, because I don't think we've ever called somebody to convince them they needed content. It's not like Wolf of Wall Street over here, like, you need this stock.
Yeah, no.
I don't think we've ever done that. Like, it's always been somehow, some way inbound.
Inbound.
Referral based a lot, but like, it's not outbound. Like, our outbound is not like, hey, you should hire us and here's why. Like, that doesn't work for video production. And I don't care what any guru says or any YouTube video says. The best form of pitching is going and making a free video for a company.
Yeah, for sure.
Just go walk in.
We did that with one of our clients, and then a year later, now we're on retainer with them.
Yeah, exactly. Be willing to work for free as an investment.
Yeah, as an investment, but also see a potential further growth.
Yeah.
Like, know that your video and your production is great and that you can tell the story behind that, but also just hand it off to that person or that company or that brand.
We did with a couple clients.
Yeah.
We did a couple clients. Hey, here's a video. Let us know what you think. Oh, I love it. So what'd you say your pricing was?
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, okay, cool. Let's get into that conversation. So, I would say, like, don't work for everybody for free, but at the same time, you got to think of it goes back to their budget. Like, coffee shops are going to spend less money than a commercial plumbing business. And a commercial plumbing business is going to spend less money than a national brand. And a national brand is going to spend less money than an international brand. So you have to understand that level of sophistication. And then you have to understand, what kind of client can you handle? Can you handle a sophisticated client? If you're not sophisticated enough or professional enough to handle a big brand, don't even pitch, because you're going to open up a whole slew of problems for yourself. Right? Pretty much?
Yeah. Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah. So there's that aspect of it. And I think, like, if we had to think about, like, we thought about that. So now if you're building your team, and we don't have to go too far into this because it's not really that difficult. We needed alleviation. So we kind of
goes back to the beginning.
Yeah. Well, normally knows how to wrap it in a bow, right? The first problem we saw was we were growing the business faster than Mike can edit. So then I started editing and I hated it. So then I put a call out on, listen, I know there's Fiverr and there's Upwork. I don't care what you see. If you go to Twitter or X. And then you go to Threads, you will find all the editors you need right there. I put a call out. I had 150 responses in like 4 hours.
We didn't try LinkedIn.
But we found a mainstay editor with us through X. So then we started working some more. Then we started realizing that we were forgetting things, meaning we would talk about it, but then we would actually forget to do the thing
Yeah.
we talked about. It was never client facing. It was always business facing.
Yeah.
It was never anything that affected a client. It was affecting us and the stability of the business.
Or having to go back like into
Yeah.
like, oh, did I do this? Or like you know, we always set reminders and tasks and everything else, but when we're so focused on the client and you know, meeting their expectations, the little things that the business needs to keep up with would sometimes
Just
fall
following
behind.
up, just
Yeah.
following up.
Yeah,
Hey,
exactly.
did you follow up with this person? Right? Like we would forget. So then I built systems to get that going. And then the systems were good, but then I was like, okay, I'm spending more time building systems than I am building a pipeline of
Yeah,
sales.
for sure.
So then I was like, oh crap, like what do we do? Lo and behold, we go and get an assistant. I'd say she's helping both of us, but she definitely helps me like with all the administrative stuff that I do. That's alleviated me and allowed me to continue trying to build the pipeline or write a script or produce something like today, like just
Yeah.
thinking about how we're going to do this and reading. I read a ton because reading is kind of like the key to us trying to persevere and prevail with this business. So then we get the assistant and it's awesome. And then we're like, okay, cool, but like we need like a little bit of supplemental editing. I reached out to one of my college professors who became the co-chair of a department, and now we have an intern.
Yeah.
And so the intern is now, while she may only be producing, you know, a couple videos a week for us, she's awesome. She asks questions, and in teaching, you learn. So we're learning what we don't even realize is interesting by teaching her.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, I never thought of this. And then we'll be like, oh, really? Like we actually know more than we thought we knew.
Yeah.
Because she doesn't know anything. So
Not that she doesn't know anything.
no, but as far as business side,
as far as the
yeah.
business side,
editing,
yeah.
no, she's
Yeah.
great. She's fantastic at editing. She knows how to tell a story. But now she like never even knew that this part of the industry existed, small business content creation and brand content creation, because she's just focused on like movies and this and commercials and never thought that this side of the industry even existed, which is a huge gap in my opinion for a lot of colleges where they don't see that you can make a living making videos for businesses to promote on social media or YouTube. This is an entire industry that, you know, is so dynamic and diverse. But in doing all this and building our team of an editor, an intern, and an administrative assistant, plus the two of us, we have now grown this business to something that is stable, and we can keep scaling, we can keep getting more clients, and we can make a short film soon, and we can do you know, maybe something on spec for a business like Nike, or like when I say that, I mean we can make a Nike commercial. Doesn't mean Nike's going to use it, but it means we can use it to promote ourselves and try to just, you know, what company's going to say no to a free brand, to a free video that promotes them? So there's so many,
But essentially gaining that time back.
so much time,
Yeah,
exactly.
from not having to follow up, making sure your emails go out, making sure
Sending
that,
contracts out.
Yeah, sending contracts out, getting the contract back, scheduling your retainer clients, and making sure that they're choosing times for you to come in. That all gets alleviated when you grow the team.
Right.
So once you find your role, continue doing your role, you take those little roles that are very important as well and you put them on somebody else
Exactly.
and pay them to do them.
Right, and like you said
scale.
before, you give some of your food to somebody else. Now they could eat, and now they want to work with you, and now they become bought into our vision of what this business can be. What the business is today doesn't necessarily mean that that's what the business is tomorrow, but the core of what we do is authentic brand story told content.
Yeah.
Now, if we thought about it, I don't know, would you do anything differently? Like in your first year that we've done already?
No, because I think a lot of those were all learning curves and finding where it didn't work first fast.
Yeah.
And then learning to grow quickly onto clients who see the value, and then
Right.
using that to pitch to others
Yeah.
who
I
come inbound.
I think we're very good at saying no to like knowing it's a bad deal or not.
Yeah.
I think that's a big thing.
In the beginning, it was hard because you're like, oh, well, they want to pay this a month, and then
Yeah.
but then you learn quickly like those aren't ideal clients. Oh, you're like,
There you go. Done. That's the end of the video. No, that could be the end of the video. I'm okay
we're at
with that.
55.
Yeah, that's perfect. That could be the end of the video. That's a sign that says end it there.